Oh, yeah. Pale blood. Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract. Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
Ah, you found yourself a hunter.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to my first playthrough of Bloodborne for the channel. This is something that I have been wanting to do for a while, which is one of the reasons that I started making the Chalice Dungeon videos that I did. I've never done an arcane playthrough of this game before, and going through the Chalice Dungeon in my last series, I used a lot of arcane spells that I had never really paid attention to in the main game before. I found myself having a lot of fun using them, so I wanted to do a full playthrough of it. And I thought, why not put it on the channel before I do my next series of Chalice Dungeons that I'm going to do. It's actually been a while since I've played through this game in any sort of comprehensive manner whatsoever. A lot of the characters that I build, I mostly end up speedrunning through areas and grinding in certain areas that I know I can get a lot of souls from. And yes, I did just say souls. I'm going to make that mistake a lot. Of course, they are called blood echoes in this game. Of course, we're just going to run through this main area here. I do not have a weapon yet, because I did want to see how far I could get before I died. Plus, the main weapon that I'm going to use for this playthrough is going to be the Saw Spear. I've never really used that weapon a lot, because it just always had a lower damage output than the Saw Cleaver, so I just kind of went with the Saw Cleaver. I also used Ludwig's Holy Blade a lot, and I really enjoyed that weapon, so that's going to kind of be an offhand weapon that I'm going to use. When I play through, I like to have one that is set up for beasts and one that is set up for killing kin. I'm actually one of those players that likes to farm blood gems a lot and try to get the best blood gems on weapons that I can get. And using the cursed blood gems, a lot of times it will give you a really high attack stat, but it'll decrease your damage output against a certain type of enemy. So I kind of match those up with the weapons that I'm going to use for a certain enemy type. Plus you have the serrated damage that's good against beasts, which I will use the Saw Spear for, and of course Ludwig's Holy Blade, which has righteous damage on it, which is good for other enemy types. So I just try to match the blood gems up with whatever weapon I'm going to use for any given situation. And this is where we actually get the Saw Spear at. First of all, we're going to go and talk to Eileen, because every time I play through, I like to do her questline. I'm actually a huge fan of the questlines that are in this game, and the NPCs that are in this game. I really wish that there was more, but the ones that they did give us, I think are pretty cool.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider? What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights. Here, to welcome the new hunter. Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about. What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts? No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves. What are you still doing here? Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt.
So yeah, I'm just a huge fan of her dialogue in general, too. Here, I try to get this, and I end up falling off. And it's not even the Saw Spear. It's fine because I have to come back here and get those blood shards anyways. But mistakes are mistakes, and I just end up running back here, getting my health up, and going to get the Saw Spear again. And this is where I actually die and have to go to the Hunter's Dream. Unfortunately, I was trying to climb up this ladder, and this guy beat me to it, and other dude was shooting me, so I got kind of trapped for a little bit. If you are here because you watched my first series where I explored the Common Dungeon, then you'll already know sometimes I die in some dumb ways, because sometimes I just either don't pay attention or I just get trapped. And I do actually make it out of here on this one, but I try to get the Saw Spear again, and I completely miss it, do the exact same thing, and end up dying there. So I'm just going to let that play out for a moment, and I will see everybody at the Hunter's Dream. So yeah, that happened. Rather embarrassing first death if I do say so myself, but you know, that's how we do things here. I do end up picking the Saw Cleaver up just because I'm here. Might as well do it. I picked up the pistol. I have never used the blunderbuss. I don't know of anybody who actually does. Not that I personally know anyways. I don't even think I've ever actually tried it. I mean, it could be the best weapon in the game, and I just would not know. Though I highly doubt that it is. I know it's not. So now we're back in central Yharnam, and we're going to go kill some guys, and we're going to grab the Saw Spear. Grab our Blood Echoes, and then we'll be on our way from there. I mean, it's pretty much known by everybody at this point. Like, the Saw Cleaver is one of the best weapons in the entire game. It's super fast attack animation. It's very versatile. It's just a really good all-around weapon. So, I always end up defaulting to it, which is why I really did want to do a playthrough where I didn't use it. Of course, the Saw Spear's moveset is almost identical until you get into transformed mode. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference, but it's going to be interesting to see how different this playthrough is actually going to go using that as opposed to this. I think my main goal for this character and this playthrough is I want to have a character that basically has everything. I want to get every weapon, every item that I can possibly get. I would like to get all of my stats to level 99, which I know is going to be pretty hellacious to do, but it's something that can be done, especially with the farming dungeons that I know about. I am going to go into some of the hacked chalice dungeons so that I can get some higher level blood gems and maybe some of the higher level blood shards, but I don't want to do a whole lot of leveling by going into those dungeons. I don't want to get my character overpowered or anything like that, at least until I get to maybe New Game Plus or New Game Plus 2. I'm not sure that I'm going to be putting any of those playthroughs on the channel, but after this main one, this is the character that I'm going to use for any of the future Chalice Dungeon series that I do, where I've gone in and explored the hacked dungeons where it's one-hit kills, or your health is extremely low, or the difficulty of them is just enhanced because of the bosses and the enemies that are there. My previous character is fine, but that character has been around for a couple of years, and it's on New Game Plus 2 right now. But I figure if I'm going to do a full arcane build and try out a bunch of different things, then I would rather do it on New Game and then go from there. I'd honestly like to take this character to max New Game. The only time that I've ever done that in the Souls series is with Dark Souls 2, so I would like to actually do that with all of the Dark Souls games at some point. Especially with this one, because this is my second favorite Souls game of the entire series. First being Demon Souls. Still waiting for the chance to get a PS5 so that I can play that remake. It is just absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot wait until I can finally play that game. Until then, I just have to stick with my PS3 version of Demon Souls, which is absolutely fine. It was the first one that I ever played in the series, It's been with me all these years, and I still enjoy playing it, even though it's outdated as hell at this point.
I don't know your voice, but I know you're a hunter, and please will look for my mum. Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him, but now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared. Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box. It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs. And when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, and if you find her, give her this music box. Please, I know you can do it.
I always come up here and I grab the music box because I do like to use it on Gascoigne. I think it's hilarious to watch him freak out. But I do not ever follow through with her questline. I feel absolutely terrible sending a little girl to her death. It's such a sad, sad questline. But ironically, it is one of my favorite questlines in the game. I really like how it sets up the world that we're in, where pretty much everything is kind of hopeless and kind of depressing, and shows that not everything that you do in this world is going to end up good for the people that you try to help. And sometimes just not helping people is better for them. Of course, you don't really know if it ends up better for them or not because of the fact that she stops talking to you at some point. So she's either gone to sleep and she's safe and sound in her bed, or she ran away and tried to find help somewhere else and unfortunately ends up dead anyways. But we never really find out, and I like to think the fact that we don't find her ribbon if we don't give her her mother's brooch means that she is safe and sound in her bed. To give us just a little bit of hope in this hopeless world that we are traversing. It's interesting, I have never seen that troll come up from his part of the level into this area before. This is the first time that that's ever happened, so he really caught me by surprise there. Luckily, I was able to get out of it. So we're just going to go through and pick up the rest of the items that I missed. Dude runs into fire off screen there and dies. What an idiot. When I came down here, I actually was half expecting the troll to be down here because I did not know that he could come from this spot all the way up to the top there. And I thought it might be another enemy that I just didn't realize was there or something like that. But no, he somehow heard me and decided to come up there and try to take me out. Those oil urns are going to be really, really handy for when I actually start to use fire. And I actually get this arcane build off the ground here. Of course, we're going to come back and we're going to talk to that lady as soon as we open up Cathedral Ward. So that we can send her back and start getting sedatives from her for later in the game. I tried to sneak up on this guy, but he was just not having it. For some reason, I always find the guys with the spears down here a little bit harder to defeat than the other guys. I don't know if it's just the range of their weapon or what, but they always seem to hit me no matter when I try to dodge. I think the parries and the visceral attacks are probably one of my favorite things about the combat in this game. Despite the fact that I'm not always the best at it, I really like to try and get the timing parry down as much as I possibly can for every enemy that I fight. It has been a while since I've actually played through this game in any kind of lengthy fashion, so trying to remember all the parry timings for every enemy is going to be really fun to actually try to do, I think. It actually might seem kind of weird, but up until recently, I've never really done a whole lot of the transform attacks. For some reason, it was always something that just kind of slipped by me and not something I ever really thought there would be a super vital use for. But once I actually started using them, I realized just how much better my damage output was and just how much easier it was to fight enemies, especially large groups of enemies. And there I was just kind of checking to see if I had missed anything. In fact, we're going to see just how great some of these transform attacks can be, being able to hit these enemies kind of 2 and 3 at a time. And not that I think the Saw Cleaver does a whole lot more damage, but so far I can tell that there is a slight difference in the damage output of the two weapons. I actually thought that that guy was dead. I swear the sound that those crows makes is one of the most, like, gut-wrenching sounds of this entire game. Just for some reason, like, if it catches me off guard, like, it does kind of make me jump sometimes because I don't expect a crow to be there, or it's just super loud. One of the best parts of this game, in general, I think, is just the sound design. The OST is fantastic. All of the sound effects are just top-notch. This might be my second favorite game in the whole Souls series, but just everything about it is so well done. The story, the characters, the combat, the upgrade system, the leveling system. It is so great. I think the only reason that Demon Souls rises above it just a little bit for me is simply because of nostalgia. If you've seen my other videos, you know that sometimes I have trouble with these pigs. It's a little ridiculous. I know that they're one of the easiest enemies in the game, but for some reason they like to catch me off guard a whole lot. I honestly think that we all have that one enemy, that one boss that no matter how many times we fight them, no matter how many times we go through this game, there's always going to be that one thing that gets us a lot of the time. And it can be ridiculous, it can be the easiest boss, it can be the easiest enemy, and just for some reason, they will always seem to make things harder for us because of one stupid mistake that we make, one little mistimed dodge, or anything like that. Seems like every time I come up this way, this troll always gets hit by that fireball. Yet another failed sneak attack on a spear guy. We're not going to fight Father Gascoigne yet. We are going to fight the Cleric Beast in the next episode, and then we'll also fight Father Gascoigne in the next episode as well, I believe. I just wanted to come up here and try to get some more Bloodstone shards, and I wanted to get those Bold Hunter's marks and open up this shortcut so that we could get back here easier next time. Main reason I wanted to separate these guys is because I am trying to practice my parry timing. I am trying to get a little bit better at it. Unfortunately, as you'll see in a second, these are some of the enemies that I tend to make a lot of mistakes on when trying to parry them. I don't always know which attack they're going to throw out, and sometimes I just shoot way too early, like right then. But we're going to go back and we're going to get those blood echoes. When I do die, I am going to cut a lot of the run back unless I do anything important during that run back, unless there's some reason that I feel like I need to keep it in. I want to keep the playthrough as streamlined as possible so that I'm not wasting a lot of time trying to get back to areas that I've already been to and that I've already shown. See, right there, I went a little bit too early on that parry. Same with that one. I would have been really embarrassed if I would have lost 5,000 blood echoes to this guy. Luckily, that was not the case. So we're going to open up the last shortcut here, and this is around where the video is going to stop. We're going to go back to the Hunter's Dream, talk to the doll, and we're going to level up before we go and fight the Cleric Beast and Father Gascoigne. We're also going to upgrade the weapon a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I really am glad you're here. I hope that you will enjoy this playthrough, and for the people that have already subscribed to me from my Chalice Dungeon series, I want to thank you again for all of your comments, leaving a like on the video, and giving me a subscription. It really does mean a lot to me that people would want to watch my content, so hopefully I will be able to make this playthrough enjoyable for everybody.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit. Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes. Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for joining me. If you'd like to leave a like, comment, subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it. And I will see everybody for part 2. Have a great day, everyone.